on our angle with regard to, for example, Candace Owens. I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now is evil.
The people that are watching her will not accept this answer.
She is a degenerate.
And now you're going against their retard programming, and they're mad.
She's going on a show that millions of people watch, and she's naming private individuals and inciting her followers to harass these people.
Has it ever occurred to you that you farmed an audience of people that are so stupid that you think they're bots?
She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And
you farmed an audience of retards.
She comes out with this conspiracy that France is trying to kill her. She says, France is trying to kill me. Then she comes out and says, the French government didn't respond. The American government didn't respond. Suspicious.
The chats are botted. Everybody's botted.
Candace Owens is a f***ing evil scumbag.
I absolutely hate conspiracy theorist stuff.
Candace Owens has been on a crusade.
But if this were on the left and somebody were accusing Charlie Kirk of his wife having murdered him, I assume that you would be talking about it.
Is that what Candace is accusing Erika of?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you one person who doesn't have an idea. Candace Owens doesn't have an idea.
And so they went through and debunked a few things and said, we're going to give a complete and formal and full response.
And this is the problem, is that so many people, this is the big issue with like these online conspiracies and these events, is that people get so committed to an outcome that they don't care about the truth anymore.
Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm your host Drake Maverick and you are watching the Midnight Rebellion podcast. Now, I know I told you all that I would be live streaming, but unfortunately, YouTube had other plans for me. I went through this verification stage to be able to live stream to you guys, and unfortunately, something happened and they just didn't get my 6-second video that I sent them, so I don't actually know what the problem is. All I know is that I requested again and I sent pictures of my ID so that they would allow me to live stream. Why they need pictures of my ID, I have no idea. But nonetheless, I completed those steps. So hopefully by tomorrow, at the very least, I will be able to live stream and we will be able to do this podcast regularly. Like I said, I will be doing this from Tuesday to Saturday, 10 p.m. to midnight. And that will be Eastern Standard Time. And also, I might, post some videos. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to commit to doing this, but I might actually go ahead and post some videos on off hours. I plan on editing down some videos so everything's not a live stream. As many people know, in a live stream, you don't have time to cut out parts where you make mistakes or say something stupid or you're burping like I just was, but I hope you guys can handle it. And I hope you guys loved that little montage that I put together of all these people literally trashing her. And some of you might be wondering why I'm over here and I'm not in the middle of the screen. That's because we are going to be talking a lot about the Candace Owens drama that is literally obliterating the internet right now, from X to YouTube to literally everywhere. They are going crazy. They are making all of these insane allegations towards Erika, or towards Candace Owens, I should say. They're making up lies about her, like blatant lies, like saying that she said something that she didn't say. Nick Fuentes actually came out and said that she's backpedaling after her private meeting with Erika Kirk that lasted 4.5 hours. That she came on her live stream and basically said that she no longer believes that it was a conspiracy. She believes that Tyler Robinson was the shooter, which we are going to show you that that's not what happened. Like, not even a little bit. I don't know how anyone would come to that conclusion unless they were just blatantly lying. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is a Bible verse, okay? I'm going to go ahead and pull up my little screen over here for you guys. Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? Now, this Bible verse is very important. You can go ahead and grab your Bible and look it up yourself. But what does this actually mean? To my knowledge, to be yoked together with something was something they did with an animal, and it's basically when you like take a piece of wood and attach yourself to an animal, and that way you guys are like joined at the hip, right? And what this verse is actually saying is that if you are in any sort of relationship with a non-believer, you should cut that tie immediately. You should not be in a relationship with an unbeliever. So what is this verse and why do I bring it up? And it's going to have to do a lot with Israel and the Jews, specifically religious Jews like Ben Shapiro. I think that if you are a Christian and you are in a close relationship with Ben Shapiro, you guys are really good friends, or even if you were in a romantic relationship with Ben Shapiro, you should really think long and hard about that, because the Bible tells us clearly that if they do not follow Jesus Christ, then you should be preaching to them, not befriending them, not having them over for dinner all the time and calling them your friend and going into business with them. That's not what we are supposed to do as Christians. We are supposed to preach to them. We're not supposed to let them preach to us because we know the truth. And Ben Shapiro is a religious Jew. And this is why when I look at something like Matt Walsh working for the Daily Wire, or the Daily Wire as a whole, I don't quite understand how they can justify working for an organization that is publishing them when they have completely different beliefs in Jesus Christ. Matter of fact, Ben Shapiro went on the Joe Rogan podcast and said explicitly that not only do Jews not believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, but they believe that he was just a troublemaker. They don't believe he was a prophet. They don't believe he was anything special, really, just that he made a lot of trouble. He opposed the Romans and he died for it. And us Christians, us dumb Christians, made a religion out of it. I think that's absolutely blasphemous. And if you are a Christian, you should cut your ties with Ben Shapiro. Do not support him. Do not watch his clips. Do not watch his show. Do not support the Daily Wire. This is what I thought to be common sense for Christian believers, that we do not get into fellowship with non-believers. No relationships, no business relationships, and especially no friendships. This is kind of common knowledge. Now, am I saying that you're supposed to write anyone off that is a non-believer? No. The Bible tells us that we should preach to these people. And if they have ears to hear it, then we should continue preaching to them. And hopefully they come to their senses and they start following Jesus Christ. But if they're not doing that, well, that's a huge problem. All right, everyone. So now let's get into the meat of this conversation. It is absolutely insane, all the bots and the paid oppositions on X right now. It is absolutely baffling. And I'll explain to you why I know for a fact these people are just spewing lies, and they know they're lying. They're doing it anyways. So you can then go and look at these live streamers and these media personalities with hundreds of thousands of followers, mind you, and watch them lie in real time. So what happened over this past week was that Turning Point USA announced that they were going to do a live stream where they address all of the lies told by Candace Owens. Okay, this is very important. Stay with me here. And basically, they put the invitation out on Twitter at midnight, gave Candace Owens 24 hours to respond to it, and said that she absolutely had to arrive in person. Now, Candace Owens had just gotten death threats, these verifiable death threats, and also was literally almost assassinated last year. Someone tried to end her life last year. So when she was saying any place, anytime, she said we could even do it tomorrow. She was clearly talking about doing it via live stream. So I don't know why they would do that. I actually do know why they would do this, is because that invitation was not out of good faith. They knew that she was not going to show up physically, so they basically did this as a ploy so that they didn't have any opposition when they come on the camera and lie about everything again. So what happens is the day before this is all supposed to go down, Erika Kirk and Candace Owens agreed to meet in person. Erika Kirk actually decides she's going to fly out to where Candace Owens is, and they are going to have a private discussion. And this is also very important. Erika Kirk said that it was going to be private. There was no recording devices. You could not record it. Candace Owens did not have a choice. So all these people talking about how Candace Owens is a sellout and they should have recorded it, it's not fair. Well, you should direct all that anger at the appropriate person, which is Erika Kirk. Candace Owens obviously wanted to do this in the public because she's a very transparent person. But regardless, after this meeting was over, it was obviously very late, and Candace Owens decided she was not going to do her normal show, and she just went online and posted a short clip saying that it was very productive and that she was going to fill us in the next day and that she was alive, and that's basically what happened. So the next day comes, and Candace Owens does her show, and she says one thing in the beginning, which the entire world basically took out of context and made it seem like she was backpedaling or for some reason was against everything she's been talking about for the last 3 months, but that was clearly not true. She said that she went a little bit too far, saying that Turning Point USA is a God-forsaken company, and if you donated to them, you should ask for your money back. Okay? Now, the reason she said this is because she obviously does not believe that every single person in Turning Point is bad. Okay? It is a few bad apples that just so happen to be the face of the company that are bad apples. The entire episode that she had basically could be summed up by Erika Kirk got there and she basically owned up to all the lies. So all those lies that Turning Point said they were going to address in their live stream, well, apparently they were not lies coming from Candace. They were lies coming from Turning Point USA. So Erika owned all of it. She said that the head of security is no longer the head of security, and she didn't know why he went on that podcast and did that appearance and said things that were just blatant lies. She also said that Andrew Colvett and others like Blake Neff, they were not instructed by Erika and they were not speaking on behalf of the company when they went out and spewed all this BS, like that Charlie never thought about becoming a Catholic or just the other small lies that they told to basically discredit Candace Owens. She went on to talk about how she wanted the discussion to end by her believing that they had some sort of extra evidence that Candace Owens was not privy to, and that she would walk out of here saying that Tyler Robinson actually was the killer and that this conspiracy theory was fruitless and she would, be able to move on from this and accept it. But to her surprise, they did not have any evidence that the public doesn't have, and they're just being extremely confident that Tyler Robinson is the killer, despite there being a plethora of evidence that shows that not only did Tyler Robinson not take the shot, there are many other people that were involved in this. Then she went on to say that Candace Owens was right about the text message that Charlie Kirks sent a day before he was assassinated, saying that they were going to kill him. Now, what's interesting is she did not bring receipts, she did not bring Charlie's phone, and she did not show Candace Owens what the message was. So Erika Kirk claims that he specified in those text messages that the left was going to kill him tomorrow. This is very interesting because, of course, that would make it align with the theory that Tyler Robinson actually did do it and he thought the left was going to kill him and it had nothing to do with Israel. But what's extremely weird about this is the fact that Erika Kirk owned up to another lie that was Mikey McCoy's call logs. Everybody heard Mikey McCoy, or Blake Neff, I should say that Mikey McCoy, directly after the shot, called Erika Kirk and broke the news to her and then called his father and basically told all of his pastor friends to pray for him. And she brought receipts. She brought the call logs to Candace Owens for her to see. So if she brought those call logs, she brought receipts for some of the lies, why wouldn't she bring the receipt of something that's actually more important than everything else? The clear text message from Charlie Kirk yesterday, the day before he was shot, saying that they were going to kill him. They were going to try and kill him. Even more so, this text message is extremely troubling for Turning Point USA and all of the people trying to push the fact that Tyler Robinson acted alone and he just went out and did this by himself and nobody else was involved. This is very detrimental to that idea, and I'm going to tell you why right now. First and foremost, if Charlie Kirk was aware that he was going to be shot and killed the next day, or at least somebody was going to attempt to shoot him, and he, one, sent this text message to his head of security. He also sent this text message to Andrew Colvett, which is the speaker for Turning Point USA. You would think that his security would be on top of their game and they would not let a person, a deranged person, scale a roof only 100 yards away from Charlie, arguably the best place to commit an assassination attempt, and not check it whatsoever, not have drones there looking after the area. And despite the guy actually going out there, and I keep saying the guy, I'm going to go look up what his name is so that I have this information for you guys, because I forget his name, but it's very important because he's also going to come up in Candace's new episode, which is the bombshell report that I'm going to bring you guys right now. All right, guys, so I got the information. His name is Brian Harpole. Okay, so Brian Harpole said that they couldn't fly drones. He went on this interview and he said just a lot of BS. And this is going to be very important. Remember the name, Brian Harpole. He was the guy who was their head of security at Turning Point USA. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a picture of him. All right, this is the guy here. I'm sure if you guys haven't seen that interview, I'll go ahead and link that interview in the description for you down below. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this sort of content. I'm brand new at this stuff, but I'm hoping that I'm bringing a lot to the table for you guys and letting you know that you're not all crazy for questioning the main narrative that's being pushed by all these influencers and the FBI. We all know it's Fed slop, and we all know this goes much deeper than a crazed leftist who just wanted to kill Charlie Kirk. Now, what's interesting is this guy, Brian Harpole, he was in a text message with Charlie Kirk and was told by Charlie Kirk that they were going to try and kill him tomorrow. So even if, let's play devil's advocate here, even if Tyler Robinson was the person who took that shot, the fact that this man, the head of security, which I mind you, Charlie Kirk paid millions of dollars a year to this security. They are state of the art. They are ex-military, and they are very good at what they do. So do I believe for a second that given the tip from Charlie they were going to try and kill him, that they did not have that area secured all the way? I mean, one, my first thought is, why did they go through with it? This is not that important of an event. And if Charlie believed that there was a notable threat enough to actually text Brian Harpole and tell him that, how in the world did they allow this to continue? And I guess you could just say that Charlie Kirk was not going to run away scared, and that's understandable, okay? So I don't expect Charlie to not have this this grand opening at the start of his thing. All right, I'll cut that out in editing. But I do expect his security to be on top of it and not let some weirdo scale a roof 100 yards away from Charlie Kirk and get prone and take a shot and kill the man. I mean, first of all, Donald Trump was almost killed in basically the exact same way, and everybody immediately knew that this was a federal operation to kill Donald Trump. Do you think that the feds, arguably our most prestigious law enforcement agency in our government, do we actually think that they allowed this man to scale this roof and they said, oh, the slope was too much? I mean, everybody called it immediately that it was complete bullshit. And the other thing is that we have heard nothing about this. I mean, it's like it happened and we have heard nothing. It has been like a year now, and we've heard absolutely nothing. Why did he do it? What radicalized him? Was he working with anyone else? Did anyone know this was going to happen before it happened? All of these questions we do not have answers to. So it explains why we're not getting answers about Charlie Kirk. This was literally the president of the United States, and we got absolutely no information after the fact. And Donald Trump has been in office, so why is he keeping it a secret, and why isn't he blowing the whistle on what actually happened to him that day? Nonetheless, this guy is also very good at his job. Brian Harpole is a decorated veteran. He is extremely talented. So do I think for a second that this guy just got on top of a roof and shot Charlie Kirk and he's not complicit in this? No, I don't think so. I am positive that Brian Harpole knew this was going to happen, and he strategically had his team not check that rooftop because they knew it was going to happen. And there's evidence to prove that everyone knew this was going to happen. A lot of people knew this was going to happen because there were, I believe, according to Tucker Carlson, 10 different accounts that posted that something big was going to happen on this day, specifically to Charlie Kirk. So if we knew this information and other people knew this was going to happen, how are we to believe that Tyler Robinson acted alone? He acted alone. It's impossible. It did not happen. Do not fall for it. And why I know that this is a huge conspiracy and a big cover-up, and that this is a federal level cover-up, in that there is an active smear and disinformation campaign against Candace Owens, is because once Candace Owens had that meeting with Erika Kirk, she came out and did not backpedal at all. Not one time did she say she got anything wrong. Actually, if anything, she doubled down on that episode and said that not only did they not have any evidence that the public didn't have, there were also a lot of lies that they owned up to. First of all, the conversation with Mikey McCoy and Erika Kirk and calling his father was completely not true. He actually called his wife for 10 minutes, then he called Erika Kirk, and then he called Pastor Rob McCoy. This is very important because it's just a lie. And why would you lie about something unless you're trying to hide something else? Because they're guilty, okay? They are involved. You can take it to the bank and cash it. And the amazing thing about the world that we live in today is that it's going to get found out. The difference between this conspiracy theory and the conspiracy surrounding the JFK assassination is that this happened in, like, I don't know the exact date, but I believe it was like the 1940s or something. It was like the 1940s or something, where we did not have technology and there was no way for the general public to band together and solve the crime. Not only that, cameras did not work that well. We didn't have 4K and 8K streaming possibilities. So now that we have this advanced technology, the citizens of the United States can actually look into this and inquire more about it. But let's take a second here and talk about how I know this is a disinformation and smear campaign. If you go on X, you'll see that Nick Fuentes, Tim Pool, and a lot of other people came out and said that she was backpedaling. That at some part in the live stream, that she basically said that she believed that Tyler Robinson acted alone and that she didn't believe that Erika Kirk was guilty anymore and Turning Point was innocent and this wasn't some grand conspiracy. I want you to go ahead, and I'll link all the videos that I'm going to show you in the description so you could go look for yourself, but we'll also play some clips. I want you to go and look at Candace's episode following the Erika Kirk private conversation and tell me if that's what you got from that video. It's a completely blatant lie. Nothing is true about that statement, and it goes to prove that Nick Fuentes is happily lying to you. Okay? He does not care. He thinks his audience is so dumb that they're not going to go look for themselves, and they're just going to take Nick Fuentes' word for it. And I actually don't know why Nick Fuentes is doing this. It makes no sense to me. He's obviously anti-Israel, like me, and I actually like Nick Fuentes. I started watching him, I want to say, about 4 weeks ago. And I've heard his name in the past, but everyone said he was this crazy person, this racist. I didn't hear much about him, so I never thought, why would I go look this guy up? It just doesn't make any sense. And then he started gaining notoriety here soon and got on the mainstream networks like YouTube and Twitch. I started seeing clips of him, and I was like, oh, let me go see what this guy's all about. He's so evil. Everyone says he's evil. So as a intelligent, free-thinking conservative, I said, let me go make up my mind for myself. So I went, I started listening to him, and I found out immediately he's not just extremely intelligent, he's very educated. And a lot of people don't know the difference between that, but there's a big difference. You could be a genius and not educated. You could be very educated and a complete retard. That basically sums up liberals in a nutshell. They're very educated, but also very retarded. It's what you do with that education, how you absorb it, and how you come to conclusions with that education. Okay? That's the biggest problem with liberals. Next to the fact that their heart is 100 times bigger than their brain. But nonetheless, I thought he was incredible. I thought, oh my goodness, this guy is going to be the president of the United States one day. And I still think he's extremely bright. But this whole Candace Owens griefing right now, this grifting right now, him blatantly lying and trashing Candace Owens nonstop is clearly a result of his ego being hurt. I don't know if you guys know this, but Candace Owens actually had Nick Fuentes on her podcast, and they had a little debate where Nick Fuentes thought that he was going to come in and they were going to, this was his breaking moment. People were finally going to stop gatekeeping him from the conservative movement, and he was, this was like a dream come true for him. Little did he know, Candace actually just started trashing him the whole time. And instead of talking about the things they have in common and what, they believe that they can come together and talk about, like Israel and the Israel lobby and all this other stuff, how Trump is betraying his base right now, she instead talked about everything that she disagrees with Nick about. Specifically and most notably, I'm going to go ahead and pull up a clip for you guys real quick. I thought it was hilarious, so give me 1 second.
Between races. What about in Africa and Haiti? I mean, they're killing and eating each other everywhere where they are. You have these problems.
Yeah, I'd like to look into, and I'm pleading ignorant, but I think I'd have to look more into the history of Haiti to be able to push back on that at all. I don't think I agree with that.
What about all of Africa then? There's not one country in sub-Saharan Africa that's successful. Not one. They're all least developed countries. They're all failed states.
Africa's a pretty rich country. Like, why aren't Africans controlling the diamond trade? Who's taking all of the diamonds so that they can't control the diamond trade? And how long have these people been doing that, being essentially culture vultures? I never trust myself when I have a perspective now, because I realize how much of my opinions and beliefs were shaped by the public school system.
That just sounds to me like a left-wing argument when they say,
okay,
why
this
don't
is
these
not the
countries
clip
get
I was
ahead?
looking for. It's about, I'm going to find the clip here. Race
So
and
you
IQ.
don't think that
Here
there's
it
group
is.
differences on average between the races?
I think, just to be clear, I think there would be group differences if you took, like we were talking about, an American versus somebody who graduates college in Europe. There'd be tremendous differences.
Not tremendous, but there would be slight differences. But you don't think that racially there's differences between races?
I think, because we have huge differences culturally. So going to your point of saying, I don't want to live in a black neighborhood, well, neither does LeBron James when he gets money, right? And there's a reason for that, because there is something that's happening culturally in Black America that's been going on for a very long time. But that thing, I would argue, didn't exist in...
What about in Africa and Haiti? I mean, they're killing and eating each other in Africa and Haiti, everywhere where they are. You have these problems.
Yeah, I'd like to look into, and I'm pleading ignorant, but
I'm going to go ahead and skip a little bit.
What happened in Haiti. Because you just keep bombing the crap out of them. If they ever try kind of going back in my head, here's what we're going to do with the dollar and refugees, suddenly there are these people and diamond really trying to go back opinions and beliefs to just learning about that. but I think it would take a lot.
Countries get ahead. Colonialism
Done nothing. And
prevents reason that Europe, and I don't think it was that it was white supremacy or we were.
Okay, this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm having trouble locating the clip, and I will find it for you. But basically, Nick Fuentes says that black people on average have a significantly lower IQ than white Americans. And she goes to say that it's culturally the difference and that it has nothing to do with genetics, which is obviously a lie. Everyone knows that IQ is genetic. When you're 10 years old and you take an IQ test versus when you're 40 years old and you have a lot of life experience, plus you've been through high school and college, your IQ is actually not going to raise by that much because it's innate. Not that it's all passed down, like if your parents are dumb, you're going to be dumb, but the moment you're born, your DNA your genetics are already what they are going to be. You're generally not going to have a high IQ. If you're born with an 85 IQ, you're not going to get to 110 by the time you're 100 years old. That's not how IQ works. Duh. He goes to say that when the Europeans invaded Africa and the transatlantic slave trade happened, that Africans did not have a written language, nor did they discover the wheel. Now, this is a crazy statement because this happened in the 19th century, okay? They did not discover the wheel yet or have a written language. Candace Owens goes on to say, wait a minute, isn't Egypt in Africa? I mean, they built pyramids, they had a written language, they obviously had very advanced technology, and then Nick Fuentes correctly points out that those are not black people. He's talking about sub-Saharan Africa, and then Candace Owens goes on this rant like, oh, I guess Egypt is just not in Africa anymore. And he's like, it's a different race of people. And to be fair, to Nick's credit, this is a retarded argument from Candace Owens. She should not have said that. She knows damn well there's a big racial difference between Egyptians and sub-Saharan Africans. Duh. Nonetheless, after this interview with Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes gets very angry at her and he starts trashing her, and then Charlie Kirk gets killed, and basically everything that Candace Owens says, he is going to say that she's wrong, she's lying, she's crazy, she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, however you want to phrase it, when that's clearly not the case. He's just a hater. He's mad at Candace Owens. And honestly, Candace Owens did it to herself. She made a fool out of herself in this interview, and she let her emotions take over because she's black, and she felt very emotional about being called retarded, basically, and saying that, you know, there's a big problem with taking a bunch of 80 IQ Africans, bringing them into America with all these white Europeans with generally a high IQ, and agriculture and trade and all the, you know, architecture and all the different things that make the West a tremendous place to be. And, you know, Candace Owens just made a fool out of herself. So I completely understand why Nick Fuentes would be mad at her, but it's getting to a ridiculous point now where he's blatantly just making up lies about her, okay? And this is my big problem with that. But we're going to go ahead and actually look at Asmongold, because Asmongold's a guy that I've been following for a few years now. And I actually really like Asmongold, but I will tell you that I do not follow Asmongold because I think he's a genius. He just says what a lot of people are afraid to say. His takes are low IQ takes. I mean, you don't need to be a genius to say that trans men shouldn't be able to compete in women's sports, or they shouldn't be transitioning children and giving them hormones and putting them through surgery. And he also thinks that the left is absolutely nuts and you shouldn't be able to block a road when you're protesting. And he believes in capital punishment. And if you find a pedophile, put him in the middle of the street and stone him to death. I mean, he wants to go straight up Old Testament on a lot of these leftists. So these are normal takes. I don't consider that to be like some groundbreaking, oh my goodness, he's on another level, his third eye's open, and he's coming up with all these, you know, crazy intelligent political takes. It's just not the case. But I genuinely thought that he was not a brain dead retard. I thought he was a free thinker, and I thought he didn't jump to conclusions about people. And I honestly thought me and him were on the same page about nearly everything. And this video took me by surprise. When I say it took me by surprise, like I was sitting here, I saw the comments. First, I clicked this video and I was like, yes, finally. Asmongold is finally covering what's been going on, and the biggest news in politics right now is what's going on between Candace Owens and Turning Point USA, yet he's made like no content about it. So I was excited, but me and my wife were actually watching a Candace episode, so I didn't want to turn it on yet. I just scrolled down to the comments and started looking at the comments. And when I tell you, like, every comment, almost every comment was somebody trashing Candace Owens, I was like, what is going on? So I wrote this extremely long comment, and I basically said, I haven't watched this video yet, but judging by the comment section, if I find out that you're trashing Candace and you're regurgitating all this 80 IQ talking points that the left's been talking about, and a lot of conservatives and mainstream media calling Candace Owens a kook and a crazy person and pushing baseless lies, then I will I will unsubscribe from you after years, literally so many years of following you, and I will never watch your channel again. And I meant this because that makes me furious. Anyone basically who's disagreeing with Candace and thinks she's wrong and is pushing the points of like, pushing blatant lies about her, like she's accusing Erika Kirk of killing Charlie Kirk, or saying that she has no evidence whatsoever. Like these brain dead talking points that don't align with reality whatsoever, then that's unforgivable in my book. Like completely unforgivable. Like, you will never get another chance again. I will never consume your content again, and I will unsubscribe from you from literally everything. X, YouTube, all the social media platforms that I'm on, because it's that serious. The way I look at it right now is all the individuals that are bashing Candace Owens, they're just outing themselves to me. That's like, okay, they're paid opposition, and it's kind of like my friends are letting me know who they truly are, and now I can go and cut them all off, and then I'll be left with a solid base of influencers and political commentators that I actually agree with and align with and believe that they're not shills. So let's go ahead and take a look at what Asmongold's been saying about this whole situation here.
56,000 down dutes. Oh my God. My advice, if people can't be trusted, I think I just realized that we, the people, will never be allowed to know. Private meetings are not for public discourse. They're for making deals. Erika goes around giving interviews to everyone and their mama, but you guys can't have a live interview. This is like when my parents replaced my dead goldfish with another goldfish as if I wouldn't notice. I'm going to be honest. Some of these are pretty funny. And a 4.5 hour conversation, and yet here we are. The people are still confused as fuck. Yeah, because they haven't figured it out. Someone should study this video. How to go from hero to zero in less than 60 minutes. Way to ruin your reputation, Candace. It's a big club and we aren't in it. This feels like swimming the whole Atlantic and then dying in the shore. What a waste. Man. I almost feel bad for some of these people, man. I do. The only conspiracy that's real is Agartha. Everybody knows that. Yeah, look at this here. You don't get to choose when you want privacy when you're making everything public since the beginning. I don't know what that is. Crawling back into my cave, I thought we almost had a real one. Oh my God. Well, I was afraid this would happen. This would happen. Goodbye, Candace. Is she losing subscribers for this?
That's a very good point, and I just want to stop the video real quick. Is she losing subscribers from this? And no, the answer is no, not really.
No, not really. Yeah,
That's
not
hilarious.
Really.
I didn't know he was going to say that because I didn't watch this entire thing. But yeah, she's not losing subscribers. You know why? Because these comments are not her fans. They're not her followers. Duh. This is an operation to discredit Candace Owens. Her followers obviously know what happened. Erika Kirk requested that this be private. And obviously, Candace Owens did not want it to be private. She, if it was her choice, she would have live streamed the entire thing. But Erika said, that's not going to happen. We're going to do this privately. So instead of passing up the opportunity to confront Erika to her face, she obviously went through with it, knowing that she was going to give us a recap after the fact. This goes to prove that those people commenting by Candace, they didn't unsubscribe from her because they were never subscribed to her. These are bots or they are her opposition. I lean more towards her opposition. These are people that are watching these brain dead other channels that are saying that they debunked the Egyptian planes and she's lying about everything. They're flooding her video to make it look like her fans are, going against her, which is not the case. It's never been the case. And Asmongold is too dumb to realize this.
It seems like that's not really what's happening. Okay, well, she had a good run. They're genuinely disappointed. That's because they've already made up their mind that Israel killed Charlie Kirk. That was it. So, let me see. Is people say she's doing a... Oh, God.
The best part is getting started because it only takes about 10 seconds and it's also completely free. Just grab your phone,
she's
open the
doing
App
an
Store,
ad.
Google Play, type in Rumble, and hit download. Once you're in,
I'm not a bot, but I unsubscribed. They got Candace. This is live.
Single time that I go live,
it's live.
You care about free speech, if you want platforms that respect your right to think for yourself, and if you're tired of big tech deciding it's allowed, then this is the moment that you can make that
Rumble's
switch.
great.
Your voice matters, and the platforms that you choose matter just as much. Move to Rumble today. Just click the link in the description below, download the app, and join us. I'll see you guys
out.
over
Don't
there.
let bots take over.
I am telling you guys, we are in a fight for our minds. These are psychological wars that they impart upon the people, and I have never seen one more extreme than this Charlie Kirk cover-up that the feds are engaged in. Speaking of which, I've heard the rumors, obviously, that Dan Bongino, which it looks like Trump has just confirmed, is going to leave the FBI. As assistant director of the FBI.
That's pretty big.
He will be stepping down. Trump said that he thinks that Dan wants to get back to his show. I think Dan has probably realized how far-reaching this corruption goes. I have been wondering why Dan has been silent, I would say effectively silent, on the Charlie Kirk situation. He has not been a part of the people that have been
He's
feeding
tainted
us trash. And maybe his silence is actually some dignity. Like saying, I'm not going to take part in this. And he's doing maybe what Marjorie Taylor Greene
has tons
did
of disposable
and said, this
income.
is hopelessly broken. And I feel like I'm betraying the American people and he's going to leave. And maybe he feels like he can fight better from behind the mic. And I certainly am feeling
being
like
on a microphone is going to help being
just by
more than being in the FBI. Surely.
And to a car after.
It wasn't part of the crime.
He learns things from watching
Charlie's
TV.
Necklace. It happened that Charlie, in the back seat below him, between these two bucket seats, was my computer bag. So everything, I couldn't go anywhere. My wallet was in there. I wasn't going anywhere anyway, but I had to go in and get that out. And so when they finally cleared it, I got into the car and I pulled out my bag and
so she believes something because of a dream and she learns things from watching
Charlie's
TV.
Necklace that had a cross and medallions on it. And I had heard they were looking for that. And so
around the corner from the hospital, whatever sell it has to pay for it to be does is she you guys stupid.
Oh boy. If you provided
who they that the they that he
this is it. And everybody is losing their fucking mind on this. Oh, here's more. Said that in the past 85 pieces.
He communicates on Telegram. There's people at the company. Look, this is a company. Aggressive. That is actually aggressive in the retro.
Okay, he's trolling. All right, fast because people don't really know what's happening. But what happens is that people that are like very conspiratorially minded, they will look at any change of like this like behavior or narrative. They'll view it as basically this is a person changing the opinion, right? They're changing their opinion. They're hiding the truth, and there's some also version of it.
coming from various people at the company. Like,
Yeah.
look, this is a company with 650 people that are employed. Everybody at this time is exceedingly
Cooking hard. No, she hasn't produced any evidence or any justification for 90% of the things that she said. Like,
Okay, she hasn't produced any evidence or any justification for what she said for 90% of the things she said. This is a blatant lie. And what makes me so mad about this, like I am literally furious about this, is the fact that Asmongold has not been following this at all, okay? He has not sat down and watched any of Candace's episodes. He does not know any evidence that she has brought to the table. He has no idea what she's been talking about for the last 3 months. He is completely uneducated on this specific topic, right? He has no idea what Candace has been saying for the last 3 months. Yet, he has the opinion that 90% of the things she says do not have evidence. This is a blatant lie. Okay, the feds coming and literally paving over the crime scene is factual. The guy removing the SD card from the camera behind Charlie Kirk is factual. The lie about, obviously we've all seen the clip of Mikey McCoy instantly walking away. He literally grabs his phone. The shot's fired. Before Charlie hits the ground, the guy picks up his phone, turns around, and starts walking away to the parking lot. Okay? This is not a normal reaction from someone who just saw somebody get shot. This is factual, okay? This is evidence, as he likes to call it. The guy who jumped up on Charlie's chair that he was shot in, first of all, getting on his chair is a crime. You are tainting the crime scene. And then you take the SD card out of it. And guess what their justification was behind doing that? He said that the police officers instructed him to secure the footage. We know this is not true because they're on camera doing it. He in no way, shape, or form spoke to a police officer. He basically instantly got on the chair and removed the SD card, okay? He was not instructed to do this. So this is a brain dead take. There's so much more evidence. I'm not going to get into it all right now. I would hope that if you're watching me, that you've also watched everything Candace has put out. You will clearly see that every single thing that Candace has said has a lot of evidence behind it. Despite the few things she said that is not evidence, okay? Her dream, that's not evidence. The maroon shirt theory, that's not evidence, right? We know this. But everything else she said is factual, okay? Let's get that straight, Asmongold.
I'm sorry, but if somebody comes out and they say, Charlie Kirk talked to me and told me I was betrayed in a dream, and then you say, oh, let's hear what else this person has to say, you're a retard. You're a retard. And you.
There we go, guys. Asmongold thinks you're a retard for listening to Candace because in maybe a 1-minute clip, she talked about how she had a dream and Charlie Kirk came to her and said that he was betrayed. Okay? This happened in a minute of the, I don't know, let's just round it up to 100 hours of content she's put out. Maybe less than that, okay? Maybe I overshot that a little bit. But regardless, she has so much evidence. It's I would say if you polled people, maybe 80% of people know that this was a cover-up. So to call everyone a retard just because she shared with her audience that she had a dream, it's if you're going to discredit everything she says because of this dream, that's absolutely insane. And that automatically makes you a retard, okay? So don't listen to Asmongold. If you have any respect for him, that should be gone by now. And let's continue and listen to what else Asmongold has to say and why he's saying all this, okay? Because it gets real deep here. He talks about his mother, and this is the reason why he thinks Candace Owens is a retard. And all of her followers, the 7.5 million subscribers she has, and probably 20 million across all platforms, they're all retards, okay?
You should feel stupid. It's crazy that this is even a conversation. How is this even a conversation with anything? Like, so she says she talked to Charlie Kirk in a dream, and you're like, oh, no. She really knows what she's talking about. Oh, no, listen to her. You're not giving her the benefit of the doubt. Holy shit. How can you ban somebody for making a joke, then talk about freedom of speech? All right, well, that's another ban.
Emotional.
You see this? He's going through and banning his audience right now. He's just banning people that agree with Candace Owens. And he does this throughout the entirety of the stream. And honestly, we don't even need to see more. Actually, I'm not going to tell you guys. I'm not going to try and find it because it's like an hour and a half long episode and I don't have time for that. But at one point, he says, or Candace starts to say that she was hoping that they had some more evidence, like they have a clear video of Tyler Robinson taking the shot that Erika Kirk or members of TPUSA are privy to that Candace is not. He pauses the video and he says, duh, you didn't think they had video? Like, of course they have stuff that you don't have. Okay? And makes himself look like a fucking retard. This guy's ego is so big because he's a very large streamer. Most of his audience is probably 12-year-olds, and he has this ego that he's some intellectual because he has a big following. Regardless of most of his following coming from gaming streams and the little bit of political takes that he does have, which is actually a lot now. He does more political stuff than not. They are brain dead concepts. Like, you could ask basically any conservative, they're going to have the same views as him. Like, it doesn't take a genius to come to the conclusion that the trans movement is bad. Having drag shows for kids is bad. Transing kids and putting them in surgery is bad. This is a very basic take to have, and he's not an intellectual. Nobody would ever describe Asmongold as an intellectual. But he does end up saying that his mom was a conspiracy theorist, and it used to make him so angry because she was a crazy lady, and he could never talk sense into her. But you see, he's just discarding that Candace Owens has a ton of evidence, okay? The Egyptian planes that were following Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk, and now we actually know we're following the Turning Point Faith events, that's real, okay? Despite all the people on X saying that it's been debunked, that's not true. It's 100% real, okay? Listen to Tucker Carlson. He has friends in the FBI who have confirmed that this is very real, okay? Not just that, you can literally go look for yourself, okay? This is all real. She has an entire team working on this. Do you think Candace Owens would put this information out if she was wrong about it? They're trying to say because she thought UTC meant Utah time that she's just wrong about everything. Well, that literally doesn't prove anything, okay? Even if she was 3 hours off, that was still, the plane still left after Charlie Kirk was shot and got there before Charlie Kirk was shot. So that 3 hour difference in her time means nothing. She's obviously fixed all of those mistakes. This is happening in real time, so there's going to be small mistakes. But does it discredit the fact that these Egyptian planes, which I'm pretty positive are Israeli planes, have been following Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk for the past few years? 70 overlaps. A foreign military plane having 70 overlaps with anyone in the United States is shady. And it's even more shady when you find out they've been following Erika Kirk around. Okay? This is real. There's a lot of evidence. It's all real. Basically all the evidence is coming from video footage that she's going over and then asking Turning Point about it, and they're lying about it. How about the group chat where Charlie Kirk admits that he is leaving the pro-Israel party? He's no longer going to be pro-Israel anymore because he's realized that Israel is a demonic force in the world right now. And that these Jewish donors are, everybody's seen the clips, right? He talks about Jewish donors publicly, and he also said it privately. And guess what? Turning Point lied about that. And then she pulled out the receipt that she had. This is a common theme for Candace Owens. She makes a claim. She says she's 100% sure about it. She waits for somebody to lie about it, and then she posts her receipts. Just like the claim that Charlie Kirk had texted a few people the day before he was killed saying they were going to kill me. What did Erika Kirk do? She went on national TV and said that's not true. She has her phone. But if you watch this episode, you'll know that Erika Kirk admitted that that was true. She found the messages. It was in an encrypted chat. Duh. You're his wife. You know that everyone in politics communicates via encrypted chats like Signal and Telegram. This is common knowledge to basically everyone in the world now, especially since that thing that happened with Donald Trump where some Signal messages were leaked to the public because they were texting the wrong person. Okay, everybody knows what Signal is. And do you think that Erika Kirk didn't know what that was? That he communicated on different channels? Of course she knew. Well, she admitted she was lying, and she didn't show receipts of that, but she claimed that Charlie Kirk specified the left was going to kill him. Whatever. I don't believe it. And something also interesting is she said that Turning Point basically came out and admitted to a lot of the lies. But one thing you're not going to see is Erika Kirk or Turning Point USA come out and publicly say that. They're not going to take accountability for their actions. No. They told Candace that they admitted to it, and that's all we're going to get. And there's some breaking news. Make sure you guys stick around because she dropped a bombshell on us. And I'm going to talk to you guys about the implications of this and another piece of evidence that, Asmongold doesn't think exists. So we're going to have to close that. It makes me so mad. I unsubscribed from him, and that's the only time I'm going to watch his content again, probably. All right. Nonetheless, let's get into this insane bombshell that happened. Wait, I think this is... Nope, this is Candace. Okay. So, Candace got a tip from a military person who said that they basically 35 years ago had this military operation where the government told him to do something. He did his job extremely well, and he found one of the biggest tunnels that had ever been found by this time 35 years ago that connected Mexico to the United States that was used for drug smuggling and human smuggling. And they basically punished him for this and put him under a gag order so that he couldn't talk about it. And then somebody in the military leaked that information to the cartel. So he literally had to be put in witness protection for a long time and now is going by an alias. So he comes and says that he went back to that very place, that very base that he was working at 35 years ago because the gag order had just ended. And if this isn't God, then I don't know what is. But he ends up going to this base, and what do you know? He wants answers. And he ends up stumbling into a very highly classified meetings with very high-ranking officers, as well as a politician, Erika Kirk and Brian Harpole, this guy we're looking at right now. They were at this military base all together on the morning of September 9th. Now, if Candace is able to prove this, and Erika and Brian Harpole and this politician, which I will get his name for you guys, if it's proven that they don't have an alibi for this, and she can at all prove that these three individuals were at a military base, colluding together with high-ranking military officers, this will blow the case wide open. Okay, this would be an open and shut case. We would immediately know that they had something to do with Charlie Kirk's death. Okay, this is absolutely crazy. I can't believe it. When I saw this and I heard it, me and my wife were watching it, my jaw literally dropped, hit the floor. Like, we knew he went to this military base and there was high-ranking officers and it was very close to where Charlie Kirk would be shot the next day, but we didn't know that he saw Erika Kirk there. We didn't know that he saw Brian Harpole there or this sitting senator, congressman. We didn't know that. So now that she dropped this news, it's absolutely nuts. And I have not watched her episode today, but I am going to watch it, and I'm sure I'm going to be dazzled and amazed. This is all about America Fest. Obviously, that happened, and there was a little cat fight between Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson, which we are going to talk about too. But yeah, I'll play this clip for you guys so you guys can see what they were talking about.
Struck me in my gut. I blew it off until there was, some other pictures that came up with other people.
What other people? Other pictures?
If you want me to say, there's a picture of Erika Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Wachuca in the lobby the night before, and she was with that man in the lobby, and that man, he was present at that meeting the next morning.
All right, I'm not going to wait and try to find the video where he says that the congressman was also there. That was just before this. If you want to, you can go ahead and watch this video. Like I said, I'm going to link in the description all of the different videos that I'm using to create this video that you're watching right now. And remember, I'm going to be doing this live from 10 p.m. till midnight on Tuesday until Saturday. So I hope you guys tune in. As long as YouTube ends up allowing me to do it, because for some reason I have to go through all these steps before I can live stream. It's absolutely ridiculous. They're gatekeeping right now, but hopefully I followed the instructions correctly and I'll be able to do this soon. But listen to what this man just said. Even if the congressman wasn't involved, okay, the fact that Erika Kirk and Brian Harpole are together at all on the 9th is crazy. Okay, the fact that they're at a military base together is even crazier. It was the morning of September 9th, 2025. So I went on X and I looked to see if Erika Kirk had posted something on X. And believe it or not, that's like when she first started using X, and there's only 3 posts, and not from that day. It's like there's 3 posts, 1 post each day for 3 days, and it's just a Bible verse. So, of course, I looked at the Bible verse and was like, what does this mean? What does this mean? I don't know. But what I would like to know is, where were you on September 9th, the morning of September 9th, Erika Kirk? How about you, Brian Harpole? Where were you at? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if these individuals end up missing. Okay, I'm just going to say it. If these individuals end up dead, if Brian Harpole ends up dead and they say it's suicide or something, I will be mad. But this is crazy, and this guy's a military veteran. Say what you want about him. There is a large smear campaign happening right now saying that he was involved in domestic violence, and he actually claims that this was part of the government's way of shutting him up, saying like, hey, we can destroy your reputation. And even though he was not found guilty of any of these crimes, the allegation, it's just like sexual assault allegations. I mean, the allegation follows you forever. Even if you didn't do it. Rape allegations, it will follow you for the rest of your life. And that's what's happening to this man. And I'm going to tell you right now, I believe him. When you hear the story about how Candace was praying and there was 75,000 emails, she just so happened to see his email, an email that she normally wouldn't respond to. And the fact that she called this man herself, something that she doesn't do. She lets her team verify these things, okay? So all of the situations that happened that brought these two individuals together is nothing short of fascinating. And I believe them. I'm going to tell you right now, I believe them. There's something about Erika Kirk I just don't like, okay? And I like Charlie. Now, granted, I had problems with Charlie because he was a Jewish shill, basically. He was operating on the presumption that for some reason, if you were a Christian, you should just support Jews and support everything Israel does, which is not true. If you're at a church and your church is telling you that you need to support Israel in order to be a Christian, you need to leave that church immediately. Okay? That's not okay. That's not normal. That is not Christian. Do not let them gaslight you. Okay? This is an entirely crazy situation, guys. And let's not forget Ben Shapiro. I just want to bring this up because I forgot to bring it up earlier. Let's not forget Ben Shapiro straight up lying to Meagan Kelly on stage. All right? She went, Ben Shapiro said, "Why aren't you disavowing her?" And she's like, "Why would I disavow her?" And Ben Shapiro says, "Well, she's literally accusing Erika Kirk of murdering her husband." Candace Owens says, Meagan Kelly says, "Really? Is that what Candace is doing?" And he says, "Yes." Okay, Ben Shapiro knows that that's not true. Ben Shapiro knows that he's making up a lie in front of a live audience to someone he would say is his friend. Him and Meagan Kelly are friends. And he's been nothing but trashing her, saying that, he can't believe that she's not speaking out about Candace Owens and how crazy Candace Owens is and how she's platforming Tucker Carlson. And they're all calling everyone an anti-Semite. Well, guess what? You can call me an anti-Semite, and I'll wear that title proudly. I'm not afraid of you. I'm definitely not afraid of Ben Shapiro. Okay? But this is all crazy. Nick Fuentes coming out here blatantly lying about Candace Owens. Asmongold pretending he at all knows anything Candace has been saying whatsoever this entire time. Pretending that every conspiracy theory, if you believe any of them, you're a retard. Stop following these people. I'm telling you right now, stop following these people. And let me just show you the grand entrance from the actress and former model Erika Kirk.
To stop thinking about yourself all the time and instead think about what you should do to help other people and to defend this country above yourself. You still live in the greatest nation ever to exist in the history of the world. There is still so much to be hopeful and to be thankful for. And we have agency.
When truth is under attack, America has always answered with voices that refuse to be silenced. Charlie was one of those voices, and now it's our turn to pick up the mic.
We have only begun to fight.
Listen to what they said there. We need voices. Everyone knows what Charlie stood for. We don't silence people, we debate them. We don't disavow people and deplatform people. We have open discussions and debates. And that's how we handle bad ideas. Because bad ideas will die in the face of the public, right? If good ideas are good ideas and bad ideas are bad ideas, obviously they will die out. The reason why Nick Fuentes is so popular is because he doesn't have bad ideas. His ideas are good. He's extremely educated and intelligent. He calls it how he sees it. He knows that Israel is a cancer in the United States and in the Middle East for that matter. Okay, that's why he's popular. And despite what X is telling you that, all his followers are botted, it's not true. He has millions of fans, millions of people in the United States that love what he says. He speaks truth about the dangerous black community. He speaks truth about Israel and their genocide in Gaza. He speaks truth about women in politics and in the workplace. He speaks truth about a lot of things. And say what you want about the guy, he tells the truth for the most part. Unless it's about Candace Owens, then he just lies for no reason, really. So, yeah, we're going to watch Erika Kirk walk in to pyrotechnics again.
A lot of this could be done without me, and I believe that. I mean, from the high school department, the college department, let's make Turning Point so big that it can survive beyond just the founder. A lot of organizations and groups, as soon as a founder leaves, it just kind of collapses. A lot of my job is not always in the day-to-day details. It's very much vision casting, very much driving success. But we have a great board, and God forbid if something happens, they'll figure it out. I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me. Erika would do a great job.
Sorry, I have to pause it right there too, because listen to that. I appoint my wife, Erika. I think she would do a great job. And now knowing what I know and thinking what I think, I should say, that Erika was literally planted in Charlie's life. I mean, let's be honest. Charlie was a great guy, but was he a looker? No, he wasn't extremely attractive. Everybody knows that. She was literally a model. And she was introduced to Charlie Kirk through Tyler Boyer, who was literally having sex with young men at Turning Point. This guy is a shady person. He is also the person responsible for introducing Andrew Colvett to Charlie Kirk. And that guy is super shady. Matter of fact, what I'm going to tell you guys right now before we continue with this is that Andrew Colvett said that the surgeon told him that Charlie Kirk was, the shooting of Charlie Kirk was amazing, and that how he had such good bone density that it should have killed people behind him, and he's never saw a 30-06 not shoot through people, and he was just so healthy. His bones were so healthy that he saved lives that night and kept the bullet inside of him. It's truly a gift from God. No, a gift from God would have been them catching the guy before he shot Charlie Kirk in the neck in front of millions of people. That would have been an act of God. Thank you very much. But I'm almost certain that, the surgeon actually came out and said that that's not true at all. I did not violate HIPAA and tell Andrew Colvett that stuff. He made it up. I said that it's very likely that the shooter used a frangible bullet when shooting Charlie Kirk. Therefore, when it hits a surface, it disintegrates on impact, and that's why there was no exit wound. But he said nothing about Charlie being so healthy and his bone density being so impressive that it stopped a bullet from a extremely powerful hunting rifle. He didn't say that at all, so Andrew Colvett's also lying about that. He's lied about so many things. He's lied about the Catholic thing. He's not come forward and said that Charlie Kirk texted him the day before saying that they were going to kill him. He's also lied about the surgical, he literally put it in quotation marks, as if the surgeon told him exactly that. And the surgeon's coming out and saying, no, that's not the truth. Okay, let's continue the video now. But I'm pretty sure that Erika Kirk heard this video and was like, now's the time. Now we can kill him. Because he's publicly said that he wants me to take over the company. So let's go ahead. Let's get this Operation Kill Charlie Kirk in action now, because I'll be taking over Turning Point USA.
You are the heartbeat of this future and of this movement. Everything that Charlie built, you guys are the legacy holders of that. You are living proof that his mission did not die with him. It lives through you. And Charlie always said the next generation will decide whether freedom endures. And because of you, I know that freedom will endure.
The next speaker is a very, very special speaker, and she has had a heroic last year, and I believe she's the best mom in the world. She is my hero and the love of my life. Join me in welcoming Erika Kirk.
All right, guys, I wanted you to see that. You had to see that. She comes out in pyrotechnics again. Everything is a theater with this woman. It's unbelievable. And if you were just a regular person and you had no idea what was going on, you would think this is just so unbelievably amazing. This is so heartfelt. This looks amazing, right? Everything, they do such a good job of portraying like that this is some moral, amazing, incredible thing happening right now. But if you actually know anything, you would know that, I'm telling you right now, there's something off about Erika Kirk. I think she's responsible for all of this. I think she was aware this was going to happen. Okay? I think that she is in love with Israel, and Charlie Kirk was starting to question Israel. There's so many viral clips. Just go on YouTube and look up Charlie Kirk, talking about Israel, and you'll see them calling out Israel, starting to second guess, to the point where 2 days before he was shot, he said he had no choice but to leave the pro-Israel movement. So that brings me to my next point, guys. Understand this. If Charlie Kirk left the pro-Israel movement, that is a big problem for Israel. And I'm going to explain why, and this is the motive for Israel wanting to kill Charlie Kirk. There is a huge motive for this. First and foremost, the left already is anti-Israel, okay? The left does not like Israel whatsoever. But the right is split down the middle, it seems like, where half of the people think that you need to support Israel because you're a Christian, and it says those who bless Israel will be blessed and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And then the other half who's woke and thinks that, this is absolutely ridiculous, and conservatives are out here literally saying that, genocide is allowed as long as it's happening for Israel, I should say. And that these Muslims, who cares what happens to these Muslims? They're not Christians. Kill them all. They're all guilty. And that's the split going on in the conservative movement right now. So when they say that Candace Owens is doing irreparable damage, or that the split about Israel is literally going to cause the Trump administration and the conservative movement in general to lose the next election, they're lying to you. What's going to cause the downfall of the conservative movement is the ridiculousness of Donald Trump. What Epstein files? There's no Epstein files. What are you guys talking? You guys still talking about that? Are you guys still talking about the billionaire oligarchs that were molesting children, raping them, probably killing them? The island where all these prominent politicians went to rape children? What are you talking about? Huh? Are we still talking about that? That instantly lost like half the base, right? People care about that. People care if our politicians are compromised and pedophiles, okay? That's obvious. And he's bombing Iran. He's giving billions of dollars to Israel, even though our economy, American people are struggling to pay bills. That's why the conservative movement is failing. Not because Candace Owens is calling them out on their bullshit. Not because Nick Fuentes is calling Israel out. We have politicians who have run for Senate specifically to defend Israel. That is treasonous behavior. They should be killed for that. All right? If we had somebody else in Congress that said they specifically ran to benefit Africa, that person will be in jail for the rest of their life or tried for treason and put to death. Okay? That is the penalty for treason in the United States. But because it's Israel and the Jews, well, we're going to let that slide. How about the fact that the Jews literally just bought up like 25% of our mainstream media? Or the fact that they bought TikTok specifically to poison the youth into supporting Israel because people were waking up to the bullshit. So what I'm saying here, what I'm getting to, is the fact that if Charlie Kirk turned on Israel and he runs the biggest conservative movement in America, well, that's bad news. Because then, during the next election cycle, the American people aren't going to elect anyone who's pro-Israel. Matter of fact, they're going to want to elect someone who is anti-Israel. That means America will cut ties with Israel, the Abraham Accords will be ripped up, and there will be nothing stopping the surrounding Arab nations from literally blowing Israel to bits and reclaiming that territory for the Palestinian people. And I'm just going to go out there and say that. I support that fully. I think the Israel government needs to be overthrown. Netanyahu is an evil person. I think they were involved in 9/11. Okay? I think that, they blew up our ship. Okay? Israel has caused so much damage to the United States. Do you know that Israel has like free healthcare, free dental? Yet America doesn't have that, but we're giving them hundreds of billions of dollars in aid. And we're using our military to bomb their enemies. Do you think we actually bombed Iran because they're a threat to the United States? Come on now. That's not true. We bombed Iran because Iran was a threat to Israel. But people are awake to this now. People know this stuff now. I don't have to hammer it into you. It's crazy, though. It is crazy. Let's go look at some more stuff here. We're not going to look at Nick Fuentes today. I don't really care to platform him anymore. He's a psychopath, and I don't want to hear what he has to say.